Today I am going to be doing a video on compressing synths. Hip-hop is becoming more synth heavy. You see trap songs using a lot of synths. You even see some boom bap producers who are producing through MIDI and online like VSTs using synths more if they're not using samplers or samples. So that's what I'm going to get into today. I'm going to get into how do we make all those synth sounds that we make glue together well and sound coherent with the drums. So let's get started with that. I'll play what I have for the synths right here. This is just a track that I made a few minutes ago based on chords from Scalar 2. So play the main thing I have. This is inside of the Korg Triton VST. So right there we have a very flowy pad combination of a few different sounds. If we go into here, you'll see that I volume adjusted. There's that Heaven vibe, some Frozen Glaciers, and a Sign Ghostly, which I have adjusted here to kind of work well together. Next I added something from the Fab filter. Oh, I did not use the Fab filter, never mind. I used the Vox Continental 5 to create a lead kind of melody, supported the pad. And I haven't adjusted any volumes outside of the volumes inside here on the machine. After I had those two, I added a Jupiter 8 pad, just some Astral Voices. This is the default sound. This, let's try to move that up here. So that's just to kind of give more variety to the pad sound. And then I finished it off with one of my favorite sounds of all time, which is this bird setting inside of the Vox Continental 5. That's what it sounds like. I think it's very 90s boom bappy. I just love that sound. But so here we have all of our synths together. I think these might already be compressed, so I'm gonna turn off what I have. Yeah, this is what it will sound like with no compression. So as you can hear, that's a little unruly, a little all over the place. I don't know if that's balanced very well from the right to the left speakers. It should be, but something about that just seems maybe a little bit right field heavy. But we can fix that all with compression. So compressing your synths, what you're going to be doing there is you're going to be bringing the really low minute details of like the pads and all those low sprinkles, and you're going to be bringing those up in the mix to kind of hit the more chord focused shapes. And then it's also going to be, if we compress all these, it's going to take my melody at high stuff and it's going to really exemplify it in the mix. Because if everything's around the same volume, of course the things that are at higher octave are going to seem louder and seem more upfront. So the first step is I need to select all these tracks, all my synth tracks, and send them to a synth, an instrument bus, you could call it waves, just some kind of bus where we can do processing on all of them at the same time. So for me, that's instruments, and that's right over here. The first compression that I have on my stack is a Sidechain compressor, and this is being compressed to my kick drum. So if I solo out my kick drum and all of my synths, turn that on, hear that duck compression when the kick comes in, and this will help exemplify our kick. This is really needed in most forms of hip-hop, and it's used in trap all the time. Just a really good strategy. Synthwave uses it too. And then the next thing I have is just some reverb. I don't have this Echo Boy going. I just keep that on my instrument bus in case I need it, because I like putting different delays on stacks. I think it's an underrated process. But here we have the beef. So this is our main compressor. I'm using the Pro C2. You can use any compressor. As you see, this is very similar in design to Studio One's bass compressor. We just have a threshold line, and the ratio is explained by this curve here. So if we're getting less compression ratio, it's going to be more like a straight line. If we compress the ratio more, it's going to be compressing more of the signal, so it's going to go down flat. For synths, I would suggest doing like a 4, and then if you need more compression, going to a 6. If you really want just some light glue compression, you could get away with like a 2 or a 3. But in general, I think 4:1 is just a great starting ratio for any kind of compression. So let's close the sidechain compression, and let's go in here, and we'll turn this on. We'll run through this. So the threshold here, I want to find the amount where I'm really getting the top of it, and I'm not doing too much, and I'm not muddying all my synths by adding them together. So in FabFilter Pro C2, I can put on this headphone, and it will show me just what's being compressed. So here it's barely compressing anything. Maybe like right around here, you see the volume start to go up a bit more. So this would probably be a good spot for the threshold here. I'm gonna put that there. Now our attack is gonna be how fast or slow the compressor is applied to the signal. Since your stack of synths will usually have like a fast stab synth, I would really highly suggest not making your attack super fast. Start playing around maybe like 20 milliseconds. You could go as high as you need to just get that glue. So let's pull this back. That area, and then release is going to be how much the decay of the compressor is on your signal, just a little like beat. So if I do this really slow, it's going to be more flat because it's not wanting to release. And if I bring the release really fast, you'll start to see it's really trying to get rid of the compressor before the next little bit of signal comes in. But since we're doing synths, a lot of signal is coming in at all times, so you really don't need a fast release. A faster release will just kind of jade your sound. If you want like a lot of energy and you want your compressor to really create this kind of like upbeat, fast, intense little switch between compressed signal and not compressed signal, you can go with a slow release. That's going to bring your energy up. Since I just want to kind of get a gluey compression, I'm going to bring this down. Right around here you feel a good balance of not being too intense but still kind of maintaining the energy of the track. So I'm going to put that right there. And these four are the only real things you need to know. Knee, you'll see a lot of knee in various compressors. I usually just leave it at the same. The range is comparative to the threshold, so it's fine. I never really mess with hold. This is for parallel compression, make easy parallel compression, but that'll be a different video. Here we can mix in the dry signal. This will give a lot more amplitude to our, as you see, we're just gonna make it louder. So now we got two signals coming in. Really increases the tone. It's what people use parallel compression. You want to get the tone out of the super compressed compression, but you also want the dry signal there for its just original amplitude and kind of dynamic range, which I would suggest doing with synths, but that will be another video. Right now we're just talking about basic loop compression for your synths. So right there sounds good. Let's listen to that before and after. As you can hear, that just flows so much better. That sounds so much more pleasant and nice to listen to, and that can really be heard over the drums, because now you have a better flow, you have a better vibe to the synths, and it should match over your drums pretty well. So let's hear it with the drums. Yeah, you hear that, how that's super unruly. Nothing really is glued together nicely. Turn your compression on. Now everything's connecting and everything's in harmony. And that's a really good balance. So that's all I was thinking about talking today. If you have, actually, never mind. We running it back because we have one more thing I want to talk about. Let's say you go to like splice.com and you just got like a nice synth loop that you were like, okay, I'm gonna just compress this because this has all the synth elements that I need. Well, it's usually already compressed by the person who has made the sound, so you don't really need to do too much to it. So if we go into a compressor, say we got this from we got my Triton patch from Splice. So here's another compressor. Make this large to see. And here we wouldn't want to do as much. So if I turn off my other compressor on my bus and then focus solely on the individual tracks compressor, and then I turn this on. Here you just lost a lot, even from the threshold not even taking the signal down that much. We're maybe going down 3 dB. So for these kind of things, you really only want to be going down probably like 1 dB in your compression. So we're going to put the threshold there. We're going to maintain a 4:1 ratio. And I'm going to take my attack and I'm just going to drag this slow. I'm going to take my release, that was really fast. I'm going to make this slow as well. So now we have very light compression. And I would test this with whatever drums or bass you have, because this could sound better, it could not. But it's always worth a try. I feel like that's the most important thing with compression, is it's always worth a try to try compressing a signal just a little bit to add some glue, some coherency, some level. But remember that you don't always have to apply to what you make, and you'll be fine. So thank you for watching the video. I think that'll be all for today. Like it if you learned anything new. I'm gonna be doing a lot more videos in different series. I'm gonna do beat battles and live beat making on my Twitch, which I'll leave in the description. Just building up this year in terms of content, giving back some knowledge to the people, releasing a lot of music. We can do live like song makings. I think that would be really fun. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, please subscribe, leave a comment. Let's get this channel up onto the pages of people. So I hope you have a great day and a happy producing, happy mixing. Send out.